tell you, I am Debbie Char. I am a licensed health insurance agent. It kind of goes under my health and happiness umbrella. I just wanted to talk with you a little bit today about health insurance. I know a lot of people have been affected by insurance during the course of this pandemic that we're all in. So I wanted to just kind of do a little education on health insurance. So how well do you know your health insurance? Typically, let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. There are 4 things to consider when you're choosing a health insurance policy. One is the network. Are you able to choose any hospital, any doctor, anywhere in the country? If you wanted to see a cancer specialist at MD Anderson Hospital, do you have a network that's going to cover you and will allow you to make that trip? So network is really important as far as choosing a policy. When you're choosing your policy, network is really critical. And I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the different ones that exist. Premium is also important. How much are you paying every month, either through a payroll deduction or out of your checkbook each month to pay for your policy? What is your deductible? How high is your deductible? Does that deductible have to be satisfied before any of your insurance kicks in to provide you the benefits that you're paying for? And the final thing, the most critical thing in my mind, in addition to the network, is your maximum out of pocket. The #1 reason for bankruptcy in the United States is medical bankruptcy. And unfortunately, 75% of the people who file bankruptcy because of overextended medical bills had some form of insurance, but they didn't have a cap or a maximum out of pocket that was something that they could financially withstand. So those are the 4 critical elements that you want to consider when you're reviewing or looking or choosing a health insurance policy. There are typically 4 different types of networks. EPO is an exclusive provider organization. It's a very small network. It does not provide at all coverage for out-of-network doctors or facilities. And the network that it has is very small in scope and very limited. Point of sale is kind of what it alludes to be, in that you need a referral from a primary doctor to go to a specialist. You have to meet a deductible before your coverage kicks in, and you may or may not have coverage out of network. HMOs are what most people are typically familiar with. When I was in corporate America, the policy that I had was an HMO. It is the least amount of freedom given to you in terms of choosing your doctors. An HMO has designated its own network, and you have to choose from the doctors that they have contracted with. Typically, you must meet your deductible before your coverage kicks in. And also typically out-of-network providers are not covered. If they are, you're paying a lot of money to go see those doctors. A PPO, which are what my plans are under, a PPO is a preferred provider organization. You want to have the freedom to choose your healthcare providers. You should have as much choice as possible in your own healthcare. So a PPO allows for that to happen. You don't need a referral to see a specialist. You do have out-of-network coverage, although it may cost you a little bit. And you may or may not on a PPO have a deductible. And that's important because, again, we want to not only protect your health, but we want to protect your financial assets and limit your liability. I want to talk to you a little bit about premiums. When you go to get car insurance, they will look at your age. They look at the zip code where you live, where that car is going to be parked. They look at your driving habits. You know, are you a leisurely driver, or are you a commuter, or do you do a little bit of both? Are you using your car in the course of doing your job? Now they look at your credit history as well, and that's how they determine your risk, and that's how your premium is determined. Health insurance is a little bit kind of the same. They look at your age. They look at where you live. So they, we ask for your zip code, but everybody else does too when you're going through there. And they look at, how are you affiliated? How are you obtaining this insurance? Are you going through your employer? Are you going through the ACA? Are you affiliated with another group or an association? That determines your risk. That determines what your premium will be. So here are the 4 different ways that people typically obtain insurance, either through your job, which is great because a lot of employers, I know back in my day, they not only covered me, they covered all of my family, which that doesn't happen anymore. But typically a company will take very good care of its employees. They'll pay for that employee's portion of the premium, or they'll pay a bigger percentage of it, but they don't necessarily take as good of care as the family in terms of covering those expenses. So you can add your family onto your company policy, but usually that costs a lot of money, unless you're fortunate like I was and your company covers your family as well. A lot of people these days get their insurance through the marketplace, which is also known as the ACA or Obamacare. That plan, that whole system of kind of universal health care is great in theory, but typically with our marketplace as it exists, it's really designed to service the chronically ill, people with serious pre-existing conditions and people who cannot afford insurance. And that's a great thing. But then the people who can afford insurance and the people who are healthy are subsidizing the cost of the people that aren't. So the Obamacare marketplace ACA plans typically are very expensive plans. You can obtain insurance through a broker, and those folks typically deal in short-term plans. They do represent some ACA plans, or you can obtain insurance through a private insurer. I am a private insurer. My insurance is not available on the marketplace, and my insurance plans are not available through a broker. We do work with some small businesses, but rather than give that business a group plan where the employer owns the plan, we actually write each individual employee. So they own and are responsible for their own plan because their plan is now portable and they can take it with them no matter where they work. So I kind of reviewed some of this. Again, the job usually takes good care of your employees with a full or partial premium payment. It can be expensive to add family. I think I kind of covered all of this for you in terms of what the different types of plans are. The key with private insurance and why it's a good idea to look at a private insurer, have somebody compare the plan that you have now to a private plan that's available and see if you qualify. The plans are customized for your needs and your budget. They're not available anywhere else except through that insurance company. Typically, they're lower deductibles, lower out-of-pocket costs. We provide first dollar coverage, which gives you more options and more benefits. Like your safe drive account, we provide that same kind of thing with health. So if you're in good health, we provide you a policy availability that rewards you for your good health and for your success. And those are typically the different ways that people obtain insurance. So I want to tell you again that when you are reviewing your policy and you're looking at what's going to happen, I have seen some company plans have 30, 40, 50% increases each year, which is crazy. But if your company's taking really good care of you, it might be worthwhile to look at the rest of the members of your family and see if you can obtain good coverage and good benefits for them at a lower cost than what's happening through your employer. We've been really busy through this pandemic because people have been adversely affected. So I will tell you that I'm available if you just want to quote. If you want me to review the policy you have and help you identify where maybe you have some holes that need to be filled in, and do a comparison for you. But the key is that our objective is to help people every day. We want to help you limit your risk as well as take care of your health for you and your family. So again, helping other people every day. Debbie with US Health Advisor.